Welcome back. My special guest today is the Honourable Derek Walcott, who is, of course, one of St. Lucia's Nobel Laureates. Thank you so much once again, Derek. You mentioned earlier about Walcott's place, which is going to be happening, the development's happening quite soon. Can you tell us about the place? What is it going to be about?
Going to be about 4 or 5 buildings.
Yeah.
It's basically my house, our house, orchestrated. It's a small house. It's an upstairs thing. They've designed a complex in which it's the center, the pivot. So it's very, very nice and very flattering to have it.
And what is going to be inside of the house?
The size of it, I can't tell you.
No, inside. What are we going to, is it open to the public? What are the...
Yeah. Well, one of the things my brother also insisted on, and I do, is having a little theater there. The theater would seat under 200, but that kind of number. But with lights and proper, dressing rooms and all of that. And that's badly needed here now. You want to put a play on, and you try to decide where to put it on. There are places that are good, but they're not really theaters. They don't function well enough as pure theaters. I'm not saying that this is going to have that much equipment and stuff, but at least the concept of it is for theater, which is very nice. And there are going to be 2 residences, I think, for visiting actors or directors. A restaurant too, and so on. It's a very nice design.
Will there be an area of history, an area of historical content, so that when we enter...
Yeah, I think so, yes, I think so. Right.
And this is all happening very soon, right?
Yeah, there are dates I don't have in my head immediately, but within 2 years, I think.
Can we put up?
Hopefully, I think so.
Now, when you were younger, did you ever think that something like this was going to happen? That you were going to have your childhood home respected and awarded in this way?
Well, the one thing I've always wanted all my life, and my brother, was a theater, a good theater. Because the conditions under which we worked, doing as good plays as we could do, were deplorable, very tough to take. And now it'll just be, I think it'll be much more amenable to people to do, to present. You look at shows here, and as good as they are, you'll say one thing: the lighting. I wish the lighting were better, because there's not enough, that, not enough for the presentation of the thing. The design, that part of the work, generally is short.
How does it feel to you when you see your plays being performed in St. Lucia, knowing that you've seen those same plays performed outside of St. Lucia, and those theatres are well equipped?
Yeah.
How does it feel when you're sitting there and you're watching that here?
Well, since I do them myself, I should feel very annoyed with myself, really. But I'm not. I've said this before, and I'll repeat it. The quality of talent, acting talent, is phenomenal. And the best actors here. Jakes is a magnificent actor, Arthur Jacobs, magnificent, nothing less, internationally. So I'm not comparing, I'm not deciding to compare. I'm just saying, the same way, if you make a parallel and say the British have great batsmen, so we have a couple of great actors. the same level of quality. And that is true of the Caribbean. All my life I've worked with superb actors, singers. So it's always been a question of really money. How much can somebody make from a living, making a living as doing what they're doing. But people like Wendell and Warren, for instance, you know, these are, they give you a thrill to work with them, you know. So I don't feel better about the quality of the acting necessarily in comparison if I'm doing something in London or I'm doing something here, depending on the talent, the casting of the talent.
Okay.
You know.
But what about in going forward? We have to wait a couple more years for Derek Place to be constructed and be functioning. Between then and now, you continue to do the best with what you have, and especially when Nobel Laureate Week comes, your lecture is always one of the most well attended.
Yeah.
Always.
But I don't lecture, a guest lecturer.
Yes, the guest lectures, yes.
And this year is going to be Raoul Pell. Raoul, what's the matter with me? Raoul Peck.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's a Haitian filmmaker. He speaks English as well. So. And you say you worked with him.
I studied him.
Yeah.
I've not met him. I'm looking forward to that.
You'll meet him.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. But my point is that...
I hope he's not disappointed.
Sorry?
I hope he's not disappointed.
Do you think he will be?
Far from it.
Thank you. But I mentioned that because we always have a huge crowd. There is so much interest in not just Nobel Laureate Week, but the excellence. And the theme for Nobel Laureate Week is we always look at celebrating excellence, national initiatives and global perspectives. And I believe that your choice of who gives that lecture always shows a global person coming in. Yeah. And they always work with our local talent, don't they? And they always say wonderful things about us.
Well, I choose people who will get on with the people that I get on with. And everything like that is based on... Seamus, who has passed, loved the actors here, and they loved him. You know, so to have him, for instance, was an honor and a delight, you know. I took him out to Dunstan's painting, and it was a joy to do that, you know. To have him come and see the painting and talk about it. Plus other actors that I've had here. I happen to have friends who are also very famous, but they're principally friends.
Right. Well, lots of them. And also Seamus takes pride of place here in your studio, of course. Yeah. And we always talk about him. We have to be very careful how we handle his painting, and your memories of him have always been wonderful and fond. So when we come back, we're going to actually talk about celebrating excellence, and it'll be nice to know how the Honourable Derek Walcott defines excellence. See you soon.